Welcome to the most listened to golf in the world, the Fairways of Life show, on air, online, and around the world, with the most candid interviews, unforgettable stories, taking you beyond the ropes. Here's your host, New York Times best-selling author, Matt Adams.
How many places have you been to where you could truly say there is nothing else in the world quite like it? We are here in what I would call Central Florida, which means we're actually southeast of Orlando and southwest from Tampa, Florida. This is the beautiful Streamsong Resort. This is a property which encompasses thousands and thousands and thousands of acres. It was a former phosphorus mine back in the day. It was reclamated and made into this incredible golf facility. And upon this facility, you'll find the Coore and Crenshaw course. That's the red. We had a chance to play that yesterday, myself, Don Brendan. Tom Doak course, that is the blue course, and then the Gil Hans course, that is the black course. I've been promising you guys for some time that we're going to do trips like this. We're going to bring you to incredible and inspiring places that I'm sure are upon everybody's bucket list, and there's no doubt that that is the case here with Streamsong. This is the PXG Custom Studios. We welcome you one and all from wherever around the globe you are joining us today, and we're really looking forward to everything that we have on offer in today's show. It's going to be a really cool, really special show because there is a fifth course in development right now here at Streamsong. I'm not sure if you can see it on our cutaway camera, but the construction is underway as we speak on this as yet to be named fifth course. There's what looks like a backhoe out there right now. That's a live shot. And up in the distance, you can see what makes this so incredible, because Florida is, and I don't mean this other than to just state the obvious, it's a massive sandbar. So once you strip away the topsoil, you see what's underneath it, and that is this beautiful, pristine sand. And ask any architect in the world, and we will hint as to what's coming up, ask any architect in the world what's the best setting to work on, and they'll tell you sand. Because think about when you were a kid at the beach, or with your kids or grandkids, and they were building their sand castles. Whatever it is that you want to build, you could do it when you're molding sand. And that's part of the reason why this place is so incredible. Because if I had to describe Streamsong, and Andrew, you could show more of that beautiful B-roll footage that you have that kind of captures how incredible this place is. Think for a second of what we're looking at in terms of what the natural topography is of Florida, and then you come here and you see this with these incredible soaring dunes and these incredible golf courses that were created by already three of the greatest artists in the game, and soon to be a fifth course, because there's two courses here by Coore and Crenshaw, the chain, the newest of their two. But it's a place where you have to almost suspend your sensibilities that you're in Central Florida. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't look like it. It certainly doesn't play like it. There are elements of playing golf on the existing golf courses that feel very much like links golf, because of the sand base, because of the way that water drains, because of the speed that they can get out here for all those reasons, and the way that they maintain the strains of Bermuda. But then there are other elements like you're seeing now that integrate the water elements that are also part of Florida, because the amount of rain that you're going to get during the season here in Florida, because of the height of the water table, it's quite amazing. So you're surrounded by that which has been here, in some cases, millions of years before all of us, namely the alligators and these pond structures throughout the property that are all absolutely teeming with bass and tilapia. It's an experience like you just, as I said, can't get anyplace else, because it doesn't exist anyplace. It is one of one. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about it in the context of modern architecture. We're going to be joined by David McLay Kidd coming up on the show. And David, as I just mentioned, is the architect, the artist brushstroke that will be designing the fifth golf course here at Streamsong. And it will give us a chance to talk to David about his concepts of architecture and design. Our intent here is to dive into the minds of one of the great architects. Two, when I say minds plural, because Tom Doak is also scheduled to join us on the program this morning. Gil Hansen was going to, but he has a site visit at, wait for it, name dropping, Oakmont today. Isn't that very, very cool? So we've got all that in store. We also have Tommy Fleetwood coming up here. And for Tommy, I saw it, I can't remember where I saw it in social media. One of the golf journalists summarized Tommy since August as Tommy's had a great season. Or, he said, Tommy's had a great career in the last 2 months. And I thought, isn't that apropos? Because Tommy breaks the curse. He wins for the first time on the PGA Tour, does it on the grandest stage for the PGA Tour at that, goes to the Ryder Cup. He is the Ryder Cup hero, more points than either teams, right? And then he goes to India, brand new DP Tour event in India, and he wins. And when he wins, this was my favorite part. I'm not giving this to you in the sequence of when he addressed the media, but I'm giving it to you in my personal sequence of importance. And that is the story of his son, Frankie, who's 8. And apparently Frankie had said to him before, you'll hear the story, so I'm not going to retell it, let Tommy tell the story himself. Apparently he said to Dad, I've never had the chance. So here is Tommy talking about how special it was that young Frankie was able to run out onto the green and embrace his victorious dad.
Yeah, we were playing golf last week. I mean, to be honest, he never shuts up, so there's always something that's coming out of his mouth. And he just happened to say randomly, he said, you know what you've never done, Dad. He said, you've never, it could have been anything, to be fair, but he said, you've never won a tournament, and I've been able to run onto the 18th green. And he just said it in passing comment, but and I didn't really say anything. I don't think I said anything back to him, but I thought I'm going to keep that. I wrote it down when I got back, and I've had it in my mind. I know that there's events to come where we're playing at home, and obviously I'm lucky that my family gets to travel with me quite a lot. But it was something that I had wrote down. It was kind of his quote. It was, "You have never won, and I've ran onto the green." That was the quote that was there, and that was something that would drive me. And I knew that. One of the parts of getting to that is actually being in the final group after 54 holes. So I actually, yesterday, even when I had that bad stretch, I was at the front of the 18th green. I needed an up and down to get into the final group. And I was very aware of that. And then I did that. And then, today I had a lot of motivation going. I try and keep my eyes off him when I'm playing. I try and focus on what I'm doing. But every now and again I'd have a look, and I knew that was what I was kind of aiming for today. So that was a nice feeling on 18.
Is that a great feel-good story at the end of this season? One of the things I love is that, we can get up early in the mornings, and on Golf Channel, you can see golf coming to you from all over the globe. And it's just a really cool, chill way to start your weekend, or maybe if you're up early on Thursday and Friday too, certainly maybe get ready for work for many of you. All right, so I was kind of holding off on this announcement to the end of the segment, but I want to share it with you right now. Streamsong is a partner with the Fairways of Life, with our advertising and telling the world about how this is a very incredible and special place, all of which it is. We align ourselves with companies that we believe in because the message is real. And so we are doing a fan trip to Streamsong in early 2026. It'll be at the end of March. You can see the graphics that Andrew is putting up on your television screen right now. So if you're interested in joining us, and I would urge you, if you have an interest in this, move quickly, because these trips sell out very, very quickly. We've got, for example, this past year, we did the northwest of the Republic of Ireland, and we did Northern Ireland, and we brought our merry band onto Royal Portrush right before, I think it was one of the last weeks that they allowed play on Royal Portrush before the Open. So all the grandstands were up, and the big yellow leaderboards. It was incredible. It was an amazing experience. That sold out in less than a half hour. Next year in July, I beg your pardon. Next July, we're going to St. Andrews. We'll play the Old Course and Carnoustie and all those courses in and around the Kingdom of Fife, and extending a little bit north of there. I think we may be playing Dornoch. I can't remember. But that sold out in about 12 minutes. So here is how you can join us here at Streamsong if you're interested. We'll play 5 rounds of golf. There's dinners and receptions and all these and meals and all that accompany it. You can see, again, Andrew's kind of scrolling through the page. That page, if you log on to the Fairways of Life website, fairwaysoflife.com, and click trips, you can see the connection there. Or if you do the following, streamsongresort.com/FOL. streamsongresort.com/FOL, as in Fairways of Life, then you can sign up right there and you can get in on this trip. The other thing that I want to stress, however, is streamsongresort.com is your portal to get all the information on the wonders of where we are, and you can do that at any time. And I would strongly recommend that if this is a bucket list destination for you, and I know that it is, then you should go ahead and try to book your trip right now. Trips with couples are getting very, very busy and very popular because we're in Central Florida and because the timing and because we're coming into what's traditionally the busy season here in Florida. Obviously, from right about now all the way through May to June is the busiest time of year. Log on to streamsongresort.com right now and make sure you get your booking in. If you want to join us on our trip, streamsongresort.com/FOL. Okay, so as I promised you, when we come back, we are going to be joined by David McLay, Kidd. Very much looking forward to it. Dom is standing by with us right now, someplace in the sunshine. Dom, you hear more of it, you see more of it in terms of the live and active discussion board that's going on, which you guys can find on our Fairways of Life YouTube page. What is the chatter right now of where we are?
So first of all, I'm bathing in sunshine. This is unbelievable. And I also want to mention, Matt, that trip that we're bringing here, there's accidentally a 6th optional round, and I may or may not be accidentally showing up early on the trip to play in that 6th round of golf. Just maybe. But I wanted to, the question of the day, David's coming on. I'm really excited to talk about the 5th course, which is currently unnamed. They still have not decided. So we're going to put it to you. What do you think the name should be? Today's question of the day is, what is the name of the 5th course? What should it be? There's 4 options: white, green, gold, which is my favorite. I like Streamsong Gold a lot. It rolls off the tongue. And then the 4th option is to write in. You tell us, what do you think the name of the course should be? It can be anything, in theory.
Oh, and we had a chance to play red yesterday with Brendan, Dom. The place is, do you agree with my assessment? You almost have to suspend any type of sense that you have of how things should look and feel when you're in Florida, because none of it applies to this property. It's crazy.
It is, I said it when we were playing, it's a golfing oasis. It's like your own private island out here. It's unbelievable. And the feeling you get, it hits you directly in your soul when you're playing out here, because you feel like you're the only one on the property.
We're going to be speaking with David McLay, Kidd, first. Tom Doak still scheduled to join us as well. And yes, I'm going to be talking to him about what he's working on right here, the creation of the 5th course at Streamsong. But the conversation is going to cast a little bit of a wider net as well. I want to talk about the status of golf course architecture at large right now. Are we in a new golden age of golf course architecture? There is an uptick, obviously, in golf architecture than what we saw, say, 10, 12, 15 years ago, where many of these same luminaries were involved in a lot of renovations because there wasn't a lot of new golf courses being built. There are a lot of new golf courses being built by comparison now. So we'll talk about that as well. More of the Fairways of Life show coming up. Log on to benhogangolf.com when you guys get an opportunity, because Ben Hogan Golf is back, and there's a lot of ways that you can measure that, not the least of which is that legendary man right there, because I know how proud you'd be to slip clubs into your golf ball with his name etched right into the metal. But what they are designing is absolutely stunning. It is a combination of today's technology, but also with classic design elements. They are truly works of art. More coming up live from Streamsong Resort right after this.
It takes focus, calculated aggression, and a precise mindset for shots like these. When the pressure builds, only the sharpest ball strikers survive. And Kurt Kitayama activated Weekend Warrior mode with a course record Saturday and a flurry of birdies Sunday. Congratulations, Kurt, winner of the 3M Open with the Tour BX mindset. Bridgestone Golf, the #1 ball fitter in golf.
FlightScope Mevo Plus is the ultimate indoor and outdoor golf launch monitor and simulator. It gives you the club and ball data you need with the accuracy you demand. Mevo Plus comes with ownership of simulated golf courses for you to play and practice at home. Mevo Plus is an essential golf partner to help you improve and understand your game better. Put more purpose in your practice. To learn more and get your Mevo Plus, shop now at flightscope.com.
Golfers today are a different breed.
Who? Me?
We see the game in a different way.
We all have our own style.
We swing our own swing. We have one thing in common.
We are all about the details.
Introducing the Revel line of grips from Superstroke. With 3 distinct offerings to choose from, the Revel is in the details.
Our journey began with a simple yet powerful vision to provide the world with the highest quality Virginia-type peanuts. The Hubbard Peanut Company, where quality and tradition meet to create an unforgettable experience. Visit hubspeanuts.com to explore our full range of products and place your order today.
Middle-market businesses are facing unprecedented shifts, which demand tailored solutions and decisive action. RSM stands as the unwavering leader of the middle market, empowering you to take charge of change and conquer this era of transformation. RSM. Experience the power of being understood.
To the Fairways of Life show. Pleasure to have your company. Look at this place. We're live from the Streamsong Resort today. Streamsongresort.com/FOL if you want to join us here on our fan trip coming up in March. And I do that for a reason. I mean, I try to do it at the time of year when, for the vast majority of you watching, you are so fed up with the cold and the ice and the snow that all you want to do is get away and play some amazing golf. And that's what we have on offer for you coming up right now. So, Dom, what's going on with if you guys log on to the Fairways of Life YouTube page, you can vote on this. Dom's trying to get all of you guys to weigh in on what the name of David McLay Kidd's new golf course should be here at Streamsong. What are they saying so far?
Currently, Matt, the clubhouse leader is Gold, which I like because I'm a fan of that name. I think it's a perfect name. I did. Some comments coming in. I think someone wrote that Gold is a really solid name for a golf course, which, again, I agree with because I think it should be Gold. We're gonna. What
percentage is Gold right now of the?
It's like 72 or some 70-ish. And we're about to talk to David, so maybe we can sway him.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. In as much as David is weighing in on the name as we rightfully should. David McLay Kidd is an extraordinary architect. No doubt you're familiar with much of his work at Bandon Dunes, St. Andrews Castle Course, Machrihanish Dunes, Mammoth Dunes, and more. He's working on the 5th course here. David, good day to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Where are we joining you today? David, can you hear Matty?
Streamsong last Friday.
I've got you. Go ahead, David. We lost you there for a second.
Al, I'm in Washington State, but I was at Streamsong all of last week, so I only just missed you. I've spent much of this summer there. I think I've been there every other week for the entire year, so a lot of time spent at Streamsong.
What is it like for you as an architect when you see a property for the very first time? Does the course reveal itself to you? I know it's a chicken or egg thing, or do after you get into it, do you decide what you're going to construct?
I think for any architect, you're looking at the potential of the site. So sometimes the potential is really obvious. You've got sand dunes and beautiful views, but other times the potential can show itself in other ways. For instance, the flatter parts of Streamsong, you still know you have that beautiful white sand underneath, and that gives you all sorts of latitude as a golf course designer because it drains freely. You can push it into all kind of shapes. The ball bounces on it. You know, it's the elixir of life for golf course designers. So that place is covered in that white sand that drains well, and it allows you to do so many things that you can't do if you're working in heavy soils or, worse yet, rock. So I think every designer looks at potential, and that reveals itself in different ways.
And so once you saw the property, once you realized, as you are describing, the potential of what you could create on this canvas, what do you feel that as yet you have created, or what you have in store here in this 5th course? And how much is that a reflection of who you are as an architect, regardless of project?
You know, I love the courses at Streamsong. I've been there many, many times. I've paid my own dollars to hang out there, which is rare for a golf course designer. We're big mooches when we're playing golf. So I love the place. I love red and blue and black. I've played them many times. I think the DNA of the place is just phenomenal. Like you've said earlier, it is completely unique. There's nowhere else on earth that quite looks the same. And I didn't want to stray too far from that. The look and feel of the place is unique. I wanted my course to fit into that ecosystem. I wanted it to feel like it was at home at Streamsong. So we worked really hard to learn the DNA of the other courses there and see what makes them tick, and then try and figure out how we could interject our own philosophy of golf, which I think is similar to the other architects, but maybe weighs even heavier on the ground game, trying to make sure that the golfer can have an attempt of reading the contours and figuring out how they can make that ball do something after it lands, because it's so rare, especially in the US, to get a golf course where the ball is going to do things after it lands. And Streamsong, Bandon, Sand Valley, these are the types of places where you get that linksy British Isles ground game feel to it, where that actually happens. There's a lot of great golf in America where it's played through the air. The golf ball lands and then it kind of stops very fast. So it's almost a novel thing for American golfers to play golf courses that celebrate the ground game.
To that point, given your heritage, how much is this a celebration of all things David McLay Kidd and your philosophies of golf, that you have a place where you can celebrate the ground game?
Well, you know, that's all I was ever raised on. You know, my father was a golf course superintendent. I spent my childhood playing at the best courses in Scotland, although I don't think I fully appreciate it at the time. And so I bring that with me. That's what I try and create everywhere I go. And Streamsong makes it really easy. That sand, the tight Bermuda grass allows that ball to pitch and roll. A lot of the golf is played in the winter time. I was going to say off season, but it's really the high season at Streamsong. The rain is a lot less. The temperatures are cool, and the ball really does pitch and roll. And all the golf courses celebrate that. And I wanted to make sure ours did as well, maybe even more so than the courses that are there right now.
It's amazing. I had a chance to speak with the super yesterday, who's obviously assisting in your efforts. And in my conversation with him, I said, it's senseless for me to talk to you about a sand cap, right? 4 inches or 8 inches or 12 inches. He goes, feet, many, many feet of just pure sand. So much so that he said that they have to work overtime on the seeding and the grow-in of your 5th course here at Streamsong, because of the fact that the water was running through so quickly. Just to get that grass to root and become dense is part of, and we got a chance to tour, David, I'd say half the course yesterday, which was spectacular. And we'll talk to you about design concepts coming up. You mentioned that you did, and you are familiar with the course, the red and the blue, the Coore and Crenshaw and Tom Doak golf course that's on the property. Tom's going to be joining us in just a minute here on the show. How much were you able to take inspiration or concepts, or try to find, if you did, a thread or a theme from what's here into what you did?
Oh, we absolutely did. I mean, I guess there's two ways you could play it. You could try and put blinkers on and stay in your own bubble and say, "Hey, we're going to do our own thing, and we're going to actively try and not follow the blueprint that's set." I decided that was the wrong thing to do. The Streamsong, if you see a photograph of Streamsong, you may not know which course it is or which hole it is, but most golfers that know the place can say, "Yep, I recognize that. That's Streamsong." And so I wanted to make sure that our course fit into that, that we were part of that. So we played a lot of golf. I have a standing set of clubs right there, right now. And we would go play red and blue and black and talk about the shapes of features, the way this landscape presents itself, the amazing designs that Tom and Bill and Ben and Gil had done, and the things that we really loved about it. A lot of time chatting with caddies. What are the things that the guests talk about the most? What are they taking pictures of the most? Obviously, the maintenance staff have a depth of knowledge that we can pull from. So I've always said a quick funny story. Tom and I were doing a talk a long time ago, and the interviewer asked, to each of us, what would you do different? And Tom gave a fairly detailed answer of the few things that he might have done a little differently at Pacific Dunes. And they handed me the mic, and I said, the only thing I can think of is I would have gone second. And my point was, if you go first to any of these properties, you're breaking ground. You're trying to figure out how to make that site really talk to the golfer. When you go fourth or fifth, as I have at Streamsong, there's a lot of existing golf out there that you can look at, play, talk to everyone about, and hopefully learn from, and not make the same mistakes that others may have stumbled through, and hopefully grab onto the things that work the best and use those the most. So I'm hoping that I was humble enough to try and learn from the geniuses that have worked there before me, and try and pick up as much as I could, and not replicate, of course, but pay homage to it, to look at the shapes that are out there and say they work really well. We can use those as colors in our palette and try and integrate parts of these in small ways into the golf course that we're building, but under our ethos, our way of thinking how a golf course should play, so that they maybe share a similar look, but they do not share a similar way of playing. There's a difference to that.
Well, it's a perfect place for us to be talking this much about Tom Doak, because Tom's going to be joining us right on the other side of this break, folks. I'll tell you, because everybody that bumps into either David or Bill Coore or Ben Crenshaw, certainly Tom, there's no doubt, you come away with stories, because these, I've called them artists all day, and I still believe that all of you are indeed artists, but they're unique individuals. Obviously, they have their own pathways. Tom, with the experience that he gained from great courses around the world, including St. Andrews. I was up at a place in Michigan one time called Forest Dunes, and beautiful Tom Weiskopf golf course on the property. And they had this new course called the Loop. And they said, come on up. We'd like you to see it, like you to play it. And they said, I can't remember what the tee time was when I got there. They said, but your tee time's all set. Head on down to the tee. You'll be playing with another gentleman. And I get to the tee, and it's Tom Doak that I'll be playing the Loop with. And when we come back, I want him to tell you the story of what he did there, because we're here talking about places that don't exist anyplace else. The concept of what he did and how we did it was absolutely remarkable. Tom Doak, David McLay Kidd, we're going to have them both box to box when we come back on the Fairways of Life show. Did you know FlightScope, the new FlightScope i4 rangefinder, this is one of the most remarkable pieces of technology in the game today, because it takes into account not only the nuts and bolts of what is the distance from you to the target, but it takes into account all of the variables that will impact that, including slope, and you can switch that off and on if you're in competition, but also takes into account humidity, wind, etc., etc. If you're not sure what club to hit, it will actually recommend to you the club that is right for you. Did you know that this Streamsong Resort is built on the platform of thousands and thousands of acres? These thousands of acres were part of phosphate mining, which was actually done by water. They separated the sand from the phosphate through water, and that's why this pristine property exists, and that's why it looks the way that it looks. As I've mentioned, there's nothing else in the world like it, and it's about to grow with a 5th course on the way. More of the Fairways of Life show coming up. David, McLay, Kidd, and Tom Doak on the other side.
This is golf.
A shot, honey.
And this is Golf's Superstore.
Oh, yeah, we'll take this.
In Ireland, golf is more than just a game. Come and experience our world-famous links courses and our world-famous Parkland courses, all set alongside world-famous scenery. And visit our world-famous historic sites. And while you're here, enjoy our world-famous hospitality. Fill your heart with Ireland at ireland.com/golf.
Ben Hogan Golf Equipment is back. Established in 1953, we serve golfers who demand excellence of their equipment. Designed by the game's best engineers, forged in the world's best foundries, and built to order in the USA. Don't settle for off-the-rack disappointment. Elevate your game with custom clubs at direct-to-consumer pricing. Exclusively at benhogangolf.com. That's benhogangolf.com.
We know there's more in you. More distance, more accuracy, more consistency. That's why we created the PXG Black Ops driver to unleash your potential. Packed with innovative technology and unmatched adjustability, PXG Black Ops drivers are custom fitted for your swing and engineered to maximize your performance. To play your best, play the best. PXG Black Ops drivers. Book your fitting at pxg.com or a PXG location near you. PXG, you've never played like this before.
Imagine your ultimate golf experience. There's a good chance it's Michigan's Magnificent 11. 11 spectacular courses from Boyne Golf, varied in both topography and play. Boyne Golf was named the #1 best golf destination in USA Today Reader's Choice 2025. And the Highlands at Harbor Springs is the #2 golf resort in that same USA Today poll. The ultimate golf experience. That's Michigan's Magnificent 11.
Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams. You know, Hub's Peanuts has been cooking up the top 1% of peanuts for over 70 years. And these aren't your average nut. These are super extra large Virginia peanuts cooked in the USA. Family-owned Hub's Peanuts have more protein than any other nuts. So whether it's a boost on the course or a special gift, the variety of flavors guarantees Hub's Peanuts is just what you need. Family-owned, nutritious, delicious, and sustainable. Hub's Peanuts, it's just right. HubsPeanuts.com.
When you choose Newton shafts, you're choosing more than a product. You're choosing innovation, pride, and excellence right here in America. We pay attention to the minutest of details, and you can feel that in the performance of our shafts.
4! This is golf, and this is Golf Superstore, the only place you can walk in for a free driver fitting, have it built, and tee it up the same day. Try Fit and Go today.
Welcome back to the Fairways of Life show. We're live from the Streamsong Resort today. As I promised you guys, we're going to do more of these shows, traveling to great places, going behind the scenes with some of the big equipment manufacturing companies. All of that lies in store. You can always find everything that you want to know about the Fairways of Life on our Fairways of Life YouTube page or fairwaysoflife.com. David, McLay, Kidd, Tom Doak are our guests. Adab, you asked the question through the Fairways of Life YouTube page. What's the recommended name for the 5th course? What are you hearing so far?
So the options matter: white, green, gold, and then you can write in, obviously. And gold is still in the lead. It's at about 50, 49, 50% right now. Green is the runner-up. It's in the 20% range. White's not getting a lot of traction, Matt. But Stephen writes in and says today's show is over the top, Matt. Over the top. Tom Doak and David McLay, Kidd.
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. Before we go to Tom, David, let me jump back to you. The people so far are at about a 50 percentile right now are saying gold is the name they'd like to see for your 5th course here at Streamsong. How do you weigh in on that?
You know, I try hard not to. Having done a lot of projects in my life at this point, it is a very emotional thing. And I find it's something that the ownership gravitates to and owns pretty hard. So in my own head, I'm like, hey, if you leave me alone to build what I want to build, I won't weigh in on the name.
Yeah, you call it whatever you want to. Nothing wrong with that. All right, Tom Doak, who designed the blue course here at Streamsong, Pacific Dunes, Old MacDonald, Cape Kidnappers, a Pinehurst number 10, and the loop at Forest Dunes that I was telling the story. Tom, it is always awesome to see you, my friend. Could you tell the world the story about the loop and how it came about?
Well, as you said, it was the second golf course for that resort. And I hadn't done it. I live in Michigan. That's where I'm calling from today. I hadn't done a new golf course in Michigan in like 20 years at that point. I'd been traveling all over the world, and the resort had been bought by a new owner, and he wanted to build a second golf course. And the idea was to get people to stay and play the golf course, stay overnight and play the golf course again the next day. And this reversible concept was actually something that I'd read in Tom Simpson's book about design a long time before, and thought that would be a really cool concept for a particular site, something without the dramatic contours of Streamsong, and something that was relatively simple, because to make a golf course play really well in 2 directions, you can't have big things that make the whole blind come in the other way. You can't have big trees that are in the way on one direction or the other, and so I pitched the idea to him, and he went for it, to my shock. And then we had to figure out how to actually make it work.
Tom, if I remember correctly, the way you told me the story initially, though, was that you laid down the first sheet, and then you had a second one. He was like, whoa, dude, no, we told you we can't afford to put 2 courses, and we only do 1.
Well, the 2 things he said he wanted were to get people to come back and play again, and to wow them. So yes, I kept the reverse routing under wraps. I showed him the 1 routing, and he said, well, that looks like a good course, but it doesn't wow me. And then I pulled off the other sheet and showed him the same golf course that you could play backwards, and he just sat there kind of dumbfounded for a minute. He was like, okay, I'm wowed now.
I was wowed when I saw it, when I had a chance to play the course with you some years ago. It's incredible, because the difficulties, the challenge, the opportunities that you see from one direction coming into a green complex is opposite from the other. So it is incredible. Here, though, the blue course that we had a chance to play yesterday, which was super fun, as it always is, you had the daunting task of designing the blue course alongside of Ben Crenshaw and Bill Coore. Could you take us back to those days here on the Streamsong property and what it was like, as David McLay Kidd just described, to be the first one to design?
Well, Bill and I both got that call in, I think it was early 2010, which was a very slow time in the world of building golf courses. So having a new client in America was a godsend. And they showed us 3 or 4 potential sites for golf courses, including where the black course is now. And I assume the site that David's working on, I don't know exactly where his course is going to be. Both Bill and I gravitated to this one bigger site that they didn't really think was enough for 2 golf courses, and we both kept pointing at that one, and finally Bill and I got together and said, well, let's work on this together and see if we can make 36 holes fit. So we went back and forth on trying to figure out a routing that worked for both of us, and the idea was, we're not gonna insist on our side. We're going to work on a 36-hole plan together without either one of us saying, this one's mine, that one's yours. And that approach worked really well, to the point that when we got done with the 36-hole routing, neither one of us wanted to pick who was going to do which golf course. But the most fun part of it was that we also built the golf courses at the same time, and my crew and his crew knew each other a little bit. We'd been out to see each other's work before, But on that site, we were having lunch with them once a week when we were down, and going to see the things that they were just shaping right now. And that was really fascinating for me because, you know, I had helped route some of those holes that he was working on and vice versa. And it was really interesting to see what they would do with the same piece of ground that I might have had completely different thoughts about.
One of the things, Tom, that I enjoy about the Blue course here is the way that you use the natural topography, the way that you would take a dune and you would settle a green into the bottom of that respective dune, the way that it felt very natural. It felt very, I guess I'd use the word minimalist from a golf architecture perspective. Is that the way you saw it in terms of how it laid itself out, or how much did you have to create?
We didn't have to create very much at all because the mining company had done it all by accident when they were getting the phosphate out of there. You know, David's probably had the same story of, you know, shapers always fantasize about the coolest thing you could do to build a new golf course is take a pretty plain piece of land and just let them go to town for months and not tell them what to do or what was going to be a green or anything, and just let them shape everything. And then we'd come back in and try to figure out where a golf course fit on that. And that's kind of what Streamsong was. You know, the mining company did that all by accident 30 years ago and piled up a bunch of sand to get at the phosphate. And then they just let it blow around for a long time. So it really had sort of naturally wind-formed dunes, and some vegetation grew back over parts of it. And we tried to keep just as much of that as we could. You know, in some ways it looks like a really natural site, and at the same time you've got places where there's, you know, a 20-foot trench running through the dunes because they needed to transfer water from one pond to another one, and now that's a 20-foot deep bunker on the 15th hole on the red course.
Amazing. So, David, let me bounce this back to you while we have a second here, because we have to go to break in just a moment. But how much did you have the same advantage when you looked at the piece of the property, as Tom's describing? He's not exactly sure where you are relative to his course, but when you looked at that property, how much did you have to create in order to match the themes on the other elements?
If truth be told, I think Tom and Bill did a great job picking the best of the contours that were out there. You know, we had a little more of a challenge. The new course, Gold, if it ends up being that way, is to the west of red and black. Some of the holes we were pressing into terrain that was left by Mosaic, the mining company, but other parts of it, a big stretch of our course, had been mined by Gil. So he took the sand out of the site we're now working on and used it to cap black. So we were scratching our heads at 4 or 5 holes that were pretty much flat when we started, and picking up from there because Gil had mined the sand out. So we then had to go find another spot that we could mine out. So maybe in a few years' time, there'll be another architect scratching his head wondering why there's a flat spot, and it's because we went and stole the sand so we could build some shapes.
It's incredible, folks, to have the honor of speaking to architects of this stature, people whose work is going to last for generations, probably hundreds of years at least, and they're right here with you right now answering questions that are coming in on the Fairways of Life YouTube page, thoughts about names of golf courses and concepts that go behind designing golf courses that all of you can enjoy forever. Streamsongresort.com/FOL if you want to join us on the trip. The word that I'm getting is it's pretty much on the verge of being sold out already. I told you it moves very, very quickly, and rightfully so, because you get a chance to play places like this. Look at how wonderful this is. So more live from Streamsong Resort right after these words.
I got ball fit in 2000, went on a little run. Then Bridgestone fit me again, and I went on another run. I just got fit again for the new Tour BX. The ball fitting's been helping me. Will it help you?
What does it take to be an original?
Cam knows something about that. So does Chi-Chi, Charlie, and you get it. In 1955, we stepped onto the scene. Now a new generation of pros are wearing the most iconic styles in the game. The fit, the feel, the look. It's all an expression of you. Original Penguin. Here for the good times.
Golfers today are a different breed.
Who? Me? We see the game in a different way.
We all have our own styles.
We swing our own swing. We have one thing in common.
We are all about the details.
Introducing the Revel line of grips from Superstroke. With 3 distinct offerings to choose from, the Revel is in the details.
Want more distance, accuracy, and forgiveness with your irons? Yeah, you do. PXG's exceptional Gen 7 irons are custom fitted for your swing and feature unmatched precision adjustability to maximize your performance. To play your best, play the best. PXG Gen 7 irons. Book your fitting at pxg.com or a PXG location near you.
Nice, straight, and far.
Funnest experience I've ever had.
Would recommend it to anyone.
PXG, you've never played like this before.
FlightScope Mevo Plus is the ultimate indoor and outdoor golf launch monitor and simulator. It gives you the club and ball data you need with the accuracy you demand. Mevo Plus comes with ownership of simulated golf courses for you to play and practice at home. Mevo Plus is an essential golf partner to help you improve and understand your game better. Put more purpose in your practice. To learn more and get your Mevo Plus, shop now at flightscope.com.
When you choose Newton shafts, you're choosing more than a product. You're choosing innovation, pride, and excellence right here in America. We pay attention to the minutest of details, and you can feel that in the performance of our shafts.
Welcome back. Broadcasting live today from the Streamsong Resort. Place is absolutely awesome. We've been talking about a fan trip we're going to do in the spring and urging everyone to jump on it if you want to join us. Before the break, I said that it was whispered to me that it might already be sold out. That whisper came from Dominic. Dominic, where do we stand? Where are we at right now?
Where we stand, it is sold out officially.
It is? It's officially sold out.
It is sold out.
All right, there you go. Log on to streamsongresort.com and you guys can plan your own bucket list trip to this amazing place. And I would even recommend you to do it as soon as you can because the busy months are coming up and it does get very, very crowded. There's so much to do. There's the fishing, there's the hunting, there's the shooting, there's the golf. That golf will include a 5th golf course by David McLay Kidd. Tom Doak's course is here on the property. Both of those gents are with us right now. So, Tom, while we got a second here, talk to me about what's going on in your life and what you're working on too.
Oh, well, we've had a really busy last 3 or 4 years. Ever since the pandemic, things have been crazy. So I think we've opened 8 or 9 golf courses in that span. The 2 I've been working on this year are a new resort in East Texas between Houston and Dallas for Michael Kaiser and his family called Wild Springs Dunes. I'm actually going to play the golf course with Michael for the first time next week. We just finished grassing it a couple of months ago, but they use Zoysia fairways, so they had to sod most of it. So I guess it's playable right away. It'll be a little while before it opens. And then a private club in Mexico, a couple hours south of San Diego, called Punta Brava, which is just a spectacular site sitting into the Pacific Ocean. You can actually see your ball splash in the ocean on several holes, which for all the spectacular sites I've ever worked on, I've never done anything like that. So we're really excited to get that done. It's been built out of solid rock, so it's taken quite a while.
Awesome. I'm going to ask you this question because I want to ask David the exact same. Tom, you have experience and background with your study in Scotland and more. From when and where you started designing golf courses to today, How much has that been an evolution for you, Tom Doak? How much has it changed over the years in terms of what you do and why?
I don't think my style has changed a lot in 30 years. I think, the execution keeps getting better, and I have more and more talented people to come help build things and build cool bunkers and other features. My background was working for Pete Dye, and he built flat waste bunkers. So when I started on my own, trying to shape something that looked more like a Mackenzie or a Tillinghast bunker was hard. I didn't know how to do it. Now I've got plenty of people that work for me that are really good at doing kind of any style of bunker that we want to do. But the ideas of design, those are eternal, I think. And I don't claim to have invented many new ones myself. I just got to see all the best courses in the US and spend a year living in the UK and traveling around and seeing all those great courses, and just know there's a ton of variety, and you could never put all those ideas into 118 holes, no matter how hard you tried.
Classic. David, how much is this 5th course that you're working on right now here at Streamsong the culmination of your journey as well? How much is this course literally a manifestation of where you are right now?
I think every course, for me at least, is a next step in this sort of journey. I love the fact that whether it's I'm inventing new holes or my memory's crap and I just don't remember the previous ones, I feel like every new course and new hole on that course is an opportunity to dream up something unique and try and have golfers, as Tom said earlier, wowed, have them interested, drawn into the hole, so they're trying to figure out, what their options are and how they're going to attack it and how they're going to score. So I'm still enthused about dreaming up things that are unique and interesting and get golfers engaged. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, there's 2 types of golf courses: the ones you can't wait to get off, and the ones that you're just so sad where you're in the middle of the back 9 and it's running out. So for me, I want to be building the latter as much as I can. I want golfers to be enthused and desperate to go out and play them again.
David, can an argument be made that we're in a modern golden age of architecture?
I think there's no doubt about that. I came to the US in the early 90s, and I went and looked at the courses that had been built sort of post World War II up until then. And I scratched my head. I had a hard time, other than just a few exceptions. There was a lot of golf that was very alien to me. I just couldn't figure out why American golfers were enthused at some of the golf that I was seeing. I really was pretty disappointed in the kind of golf courses I saw when I first came to the US compared to what I was used to living in the UK and Scotland. And since then, since the sand hills and the Bandon Dunes, we've seen a resurgence of real golf course architecture across the board. I mean, I'm thrilled that I've lived in this period of time as a golf course designer. You have to build things that are really, really good, because that's what the golfing public have come to expect in the last 20, 30 years. You can't mail it in. The courses have to be exceptional, and the golfers have come to expect that. And Streamsong is the cream on top of the cream, absolutely phenomenal golf across the board. So for me to have the opportunity to work next to Tom and Bill and Ben and Gil, it's thrilling and intimidating. The what's there now is so good that my team and I have felt the weight of that and wanted to make sure that we were worthy, that we could build something that the golfers would want to argue about in the bar, which one's best. That's been the conversation for a year and a half. Can we build something that's in that conversation? We sure hope we did.
Tom, I want to ask you that same question. And we have about a minute to the top of the hour here, and we're done with the show. How much are we in a modern golden age of golf course architecture, and what's your responsibility to the golfer as an architect?
Well, I think David's right that there were a lot of golf courses built in the States between 1950 and even 2000 that were, golf wasn't the point. They were real estate developments, and the golf was secondary. And you know, after things slowed down in 2008, the only projects left were the ones that were really about golf. And we're back to building golf courses like they did in the golden age, where the point is to build a great golf course. And if there's real estate or something to add after you're done, that's great, but that's not going to drive the design of the golf course. And that's a huge factor in building something great, is having the client support that you are the priority to build something great.
It's amazing. David McLay, Kidd, we wish you the very, very best with the 5th course that you're working on here at Streamsong and all of the projects that you have going on all over the world. Your voice, your eye, your artist brush on this property and others is extremely important. And Tom Doak, you already know the fan that I am of your work and how much I enjoy seeing you continue to evolve in your designs. So for both of you, thank you very, very much for joining us on the Fairways of Life show today. It's always a pleasure to catch up. And again, we wish you both the very best as you head on down the road. And to all of you, thank you very much for joining us today on the program. It is so cool to bring you to a place like where we are right now here at Streamsong. Look at this gorgeous piece of property. And yes, there are great golf courses all over the world. You heard both of these gents talking about some of the projects that they're working on in other places, but this is one of the very special ones. Streamsongresort.com if you want to make it a bucket list destination of your own. Until next time, bye for now.